The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
The disappearance of 7-month-old Emmanuel Harrow in Riverside County, California, has shaken the community to its core. At first, his parents pleaded for help, claiming their infant son was taken by a man who said hola. But as investigators dug deeper, troubling contradictions surfaced, unraveling a chilling reality. Authorities believe Emmanuel's parents, the very people meant to nurture and protect him, are responsible for his disappearance. The search for Emmanuel has become a desperate mission fueled by both hope and grief. A child so young, so vulnerable, ripped from safety under the most unthinkable circumstances. And big breaking news today as Rebecca and Jake, the parents of Emmanuel, are formally charged as the DA files murder charges against mom and dad. The murder of Florida State University law professor Dan Markell shocked Tallahassee and sent ripples through the legal community. On a July morning in 2014, Markell was gunned down in his driveway, a calculated execution tied to a bitter custody battle with his ex-wife, Wendy Adelson. For years, investigators unraveled a tangled web of family disputes, hitmen, and secret payments until suspicion fell on Wendy's mother, Donna Adelson. Prosecutors allege she was the mastermind, orchestrating the murder to solve her daughter's problems and keep her grandchildren close. Testimony in Donna's trial has given the jury insight into this entitled family from South Florida. And tonight, we are live from Tallahassee with all the big moments from the courtroom. But first, A-list celebrity and recording artist Cardi B facing an intense civil trial in Los Angeles. She's being sued by security guard Imani Ellis, who alleges Cardi violently, unlawfully, intentionally, suddenly, and maliciously assaulted her during a private appointment at a Beverly Hills OB/GYN's office back in 2018, claiming repeated blows to her head, face, and body, as well as spitting, slurs, and emotional devastation. Cardi's legal team vigorously denies the allegations, insisting that it was Ellis who initiated a profanity-laced confrontation and that no physical contact occurred. It's a civil case, so Cardi B will have to take the witness stand, and we will show you the biggest moments from this dramatic testimony. I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Closing Arguments. Jam-packed hour straight ahead. Don't go anywhere. Let's begin with Cardi B. You know, anytime that a celebrity, an A-list celebrity, is sued, people look at it and the initial reaction is, it's a money grab. And that's, a lot of times, that's the defense in these cases. They're just after a quick payday because they know my client has the money. And it does happen. It absolutely does happen, but sometimes celebrities, rich celebrities, behave poorly. And that's up to the jury to figure it out. Now, you'll remember we covered a case involving Gwyneth Paltrow, the skiing accident, where someone skied into her and then sued her. It was absurd, right, to a certain extent, but she went to trial, she got on the witness stand, and the jury believed her, and she won the lawsuit. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a security guard in the Cardi B case. Her name's Imani Ellis, and she says, I was attacked by Cardi B. Attacked, assaulted, verbally assaulted, physically assaulted, emotionally damaged, as well as physically damaged as a result of this attack. So these are serious accusations. You can't just blow these off. These are serious accusations. So what is Cardi's version of what happened? What is she saying about that? Because we heard from Imani Ellis describe this attack, and most people agree she came off as a relatively credible witness on the stand. Well, this is a civil case, so your opponent can call you to the stand. And that's exactly what happened here. The plaintiff who was suing Cardi B called Cardi B to the witness stand. She got up there telling her story. I want you to watch this testimony, and at the end, think about it. Who's in charge? Is it Cardi B or is it the plaintiff's attorney who is suing her.
How long did you spend with the doctor that day?
I'll say about 25 to 30 minutes. Around that time. Not that much.
And when you were there on that date with Dr. Finke, did he examine you?
Yes, he examined my baby for a little bit.
And what baby was that? What number?
Number 1.
Oh, that was the first child you ever had?
That's my first child, yes.
And you were 25 years old at the time?
Yes.
You're aware that plaintiff was the same age as you at the time?
No.
When you were outside in the hallway, before you entered Dr. Finke's office, did you see this individual, Imani Ellis, in the hallway?
She was waiting for, she was right in front. As soon as the door of the elevator opened, she was waiting, I guess, for the elevator. She was going inside the elevator.
And you were coming outside of the elevator?
Yes.
Do you know approximately what time it was when this occurred?
About, I guess, like in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, around there. Yeah, 1 something.
Have you ever seen Dr. Finke either before or after February 24th of 2018?
No.
When you went to Dr. Finke's office, your security guard drove you there?
Yes.
And his name is Karan Newton?
He was my security guard. Yes.
Did you have more than one?
It depends, but he was just my main one, yes, at the time.
Did he go up with you to the medical appointment?
No, I didn't want him to know that I was going to an OBGYN. So.
You didn't want your security guard to know that?
No.
Why?
Well, first and first, I didn't want people to know that I was pregnant. Second, I was a little like, I don't want a guy that I work with to know I'm going to a vagina doctor.
Okay. Did you trust your security guard?
In certain ways, yes. In certain ways, no. I don't know. Sometimes you just really don't trust everybody in your business. You don't want everybody in your business.
Was your security guard with you in the lobby of the building at 8920 Wilshire Boulevard on February 24th, 2018?
In the lobby, yes, when I was exiting.
Okay.
When I was exiting.
He was in the lobby with you,
In
right?
the lobby. I can't say he was with me because we was leaving. He never went upstairs, so.
Okay. Do you know if your security guard, Karan Newton, spoke with Miss Ellis at any time that day?
He did not tell me he spoke to her at all.
Do you know if he did?
He told me he didn't. So I'm going to go with his word. No, because I told him, what happened upstairs. He was like, damn, I should have went upstairs. But he never told me that he spoke or seen her, so I wouldn't know.
You came to this courthouse with another fine gentleman security guard, correct?
Yes.
Objection, relevance.
And when you go to different places with your security guard, if an incident occurs where you're threatened or you're injured or anything happens,
Yes.
aren't they supposed to come help you?
Objection, relevance.
Why don't we move on?
You don't have to answer. When the incident occurred, did you call your security guard or send him a text message or do anything to let your security guard who was with you know that something happened where you wanted his help?
Objection, argumentative as to with you.
I told him, yo, you wouldn't even believe what just happened upstairs. He was like, what happened? And I practically told him, I'll tell you later, when I leave. Okay. I'm like, wait for me. But I told him, wait for me downstairs, by the door. And that's what I told him.
If you were in any danger, would you call your security guard or would you call the police or would you call both or do nothing? Did you feel that you were in danger on February 24th, 2018 when you were upstairs on the 5th floor?
For those 50 seconds, yeah. After I went to my appointment and the argument just passed me, I didn't even mind it anymore.
Do you agree that an incident occurred on February 24th, 2018?
It was a verbal incident. Verbal.
But it was an incident, correct?
Objection, relevance, ambiguous.
Oh,
I don't feel like, I personally feel like if there's no physical touch, there is no incident. There was a verbal altercation. If you think that that's an incident, a verbal altercation, then it's an incident for you. But we both have different opinions. It's a verbal altercation. She didn't hit me, I didn't hit her. There was no touch. So to me, it wasn't no incident.
Was there spitting?
Absolutely not.
Did you spit on Miss Alice?
No.
Did you call her the N-word?
No.
What is your background? Are you Hispanic, white, something else?
Objection,
My background?
Yes.
Well,
what's the objection?
relevance, and
Assisting.
Would you consider yourself African American?
I consider myself Afro-Caribbean.
Ma'am, you need to give your attorney a second to object. What's the
Oh,
objection?
sorry.
sorry. Relevance, yeah.
Assisting.
Have you ever used the N-word with Miss Amani Ellis?
No.
Did you try to take a swing at her?
No.
When you say there was a verbal altercation,
Yes.
do you know what the word altercation means?
Like a conflict.
Like a fight, right?
It was like a verbal fight, but it didn't get physical at all.
When I'm talking to you now, are we having a verbal altercation?
We having, I'll say, a debate.
And we're debating about whether you assaulted and battered Miss Amani Ellis, correct?
There's no, I guess so, but I didn't touch her. She didn't touch me, so.
What proof do you have that you didn't touch her?
Objection, relevance, and also
That's already been assisting.
Do you have any videos of the incident?
No.
Did you try to get videos of the incident?
I asked if there was videos. Like, I told my lawyers to check if there was videos, but there's no cameras, I guess, there was no cameras.
And when did you ask for that? What year?
I feel like when I got sued, I was like, when I got sued, I was like, oh, I know I didn't touch her. Like, it's like, look for the cameras, because they'll tell you. I ain't touching her.
Interesting, right? Who's in charge? Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight, trial attorney, former police lieutenant Rick King, trial attorney, fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers, Ann Bremner, and attorney Ali Benevento. All right, folks. Rick, what do you think of Cardi B? I mean, celebrity trials can go one way or the other, right? It can be like they just don't like the celebrity needs to be held accountable, or they can be sometimes charming, they can be very poised. What are you taking away from Cardi B here?
I thought she was very credible and poised in the stand. I thought she was in control of the questioning. I thought her lawyer did a good job of keeping the plaintiff's lawyer kind of off balance. He timely objected to things that weren't relevant, and I think he kept his flow from becoming established with Cardi. And I thought both of them did a great job.
Yeah, Ann Bremner, this is an A-lister. On trial. You know, people say, oh, it's a money grab. What's the vibe you're getting from her version of what happened?
It's a money grab. It made me think of A$AP Rocky, you know, and of course Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, she's poised, she's doing well, and she's describing things, I think, in a way that's believable. But the part I saw earlier is someone was asking about her hair and her nails, you know, and I thought, well, that's interesting. But she did well with that, too. So I think so far she's doing well.
Ali Benevento, what's your initial reaction to the beginning of Cardi B's testimony? She's going to continue tomorrow. But what did you think about her presence on the witness stand?
She presented very well. I'll agree with my colleagues. I thought she came across as credible, likable. I think you heard some laughter there in the courtroom at a few points in time. She seems very certain of what she's saying, and she's communicating it in a way that is very believable to a person who's watching. And so I thought that overall she's doing a good job, and I think she is coming across as an incredibly credible witness.
Now, Rick, where do you think the confidence comes from? Is it from performing for millions of people around the globe or from being in a courtroom before?
I'm going to say that just that, the presentation of yourself in front of people has to be better when you do that for a living. When you're in the well of the court, that's your opportunity, especially if you're a defense lawyer. Typically, you want to be the star when you're in the well and you're on cross. As a performer for her living, she is used to being the center of attention and the star. And I think that her persona comes across, her confidence comes through strong. And as Ali said, when you can get people laughing, then you're kind of in control.
Yeah, and getting that attention, Ann, is what this case, I guess, is about, because you've got a security guard who recognizes her. And the question is, did Cardi B misinterpret the situation and go after her and get angry because she is going to the OBGYN, wants her privacy, and the security guard has the audacity to take her picture? Or is it the other way around? What do you think?
I think it's the other way around so far. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. In ASAP Rocky, I watched the alleged victim in that case. I mean, it's kind of like this case. You're like, well, wait a minute. Like, why would this star that has everything go after this person? Because she's been asked for a picture autograph a gazillion times. By the way, they just showed her showing her nails. So I thought that's the part that I saw, asking her about that kind of thing. And she's got a lot of humility. I mean, she's like, my hair's a wig. These are my nails. She's very personable. And I just, so far, think it could be a money grab.
The jury's not going to know, Ali, about any prior courtroom incidents or, appearances in court or charges or anything else. But she does have a little bit of a history of having a little bit of a temper at times, allegedly, right? The jury's not going to get that picture. So they just take away what they see in court. So let me ask you about the glamification. Like, it's rare that we see a witness like this dressed up to testify, right? Like, guys, I get it. We all put on suits. Sometimes some look better than others. But, like, she's more so than we cover mostly criminal cases. I get it. But it just seems like it's next level dressed up. But that's also her brand, and that's who she is. So does it seem normal for her to be actually like Cardi B in the courtroom? Or do you think being like a civilian would be more appropriate, and not for the sake of the jury, to try to win the case, is what I'm saying?
I think Cardi B is being Cardi B every day of the week, 7 days a week, as she would say, right? So she is being who she is. She is coming across as authentic. I think she knows that the eyes of the whole country are on this trial for whatever reason. They certainly wouldn't be if it wasn't Cardi B sitting in that witness seat. But she is being who she is. And I do believe that she's coming across as credible and authentic. And I think if the sounds in the courtroom are any indicator, that the jury probably is very drawn to her. People are drawn to her. She knows that, and she is being who she is.
All right. The critics have spoken. The reviews are in. She's a hit. All right, we'll see if it continues tomorrow. She's going to be on the stand. Make sure you watch it on Court TV. All right, when we come back, we're going to go to the Donna Adelson trial. Katie McBanawa, the one who brokered the murder for hire of Dan Markel, on the witness stand today, plus coming up next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan investigates the stunning case of a sheriff shooting a judge in his own chambers. Judge Mullins dead, and Sheriff Mickey Steins charged with murder. But now a woman coming forward and accusing Judge Mullins of sexual misconduct and abuse of power. And tonight we speak with her live.
The Court TV podcast will return. Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinnie Politan investigates tonight, 9/8 Central, only on Court TV.
When the queen come through, y'all better move back.
Cardi B is back in the courtroom, facing civil allegations for allegedly attacking a security guard.
The Cardi B assault trial. Coverage weekdays at 8/7 Central on Court TV.
Were you involved in the death of Dan Markel?
Yes, ma'am.
Did we have it right? Were you the middleman between the shooter and Charlie Adelson?
Yes, ma'am.
Who solicited you to become involved in this?
Charlie.
Did you testify that essentially we had it right about everyone else, but you were in the dark, you weren't involved in any way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why then come now with a different story?
I think that the truth needed to come out, and the people responsible needed to get arrested.
That's Catherine McBanowa. I don't like her. I really don't like her. She's the one who brokered this deal for the murder for hire of Dan Markel. And think about her. She's a mother of young children, knowing the deal she's putting together, taking a parent away from young children. She lied twice on the stand, committed perjury, and now she's testifying for the state. She slept with the hitman. She slept with Charlie Adelson and then connected her two lovers in this murder for hire deal. Unbelievable. Anyway, she testified today. Let's bring in Court TV anchor Julie Janae, joining us live outside the courthouse in Tallahassee, Florida. Julia, tell us about Katie's testimony this time.
Yeah, Vinny, she's a true middlewoman, right? She was the one that connected these two men who were part of this plot, who have already been convicted. She's been convicted, and she looked different today. We always get a different look from Katie McBanowa when she is on the stand. She got to testify in civilian clothes the first two trials, but then after she was convicted, we saw her in jail get up 2 years ago, and today she looked even more free, her hair fully down. She's always confident on the stand. She doesn't mind pushing back on the attorney when they question what she's saying and what she remembers and why she changed her story, because up until her conviction, she claimed that she was not the middlewoman, she was not the facilitator, and there were rumors that she turned down a plea deal in order to stick with what she says now is a lie. But what the jury heard today was the story that the prosecution wants to get out in front of them, that she was approached by Charlie Adelson to find someone who could handle their Dan Markel problem, who could kill him. And she had not only an ex-boyfriend, but her ex-boyfriend was friends with a member of a gang, and they together could be the hitmen. And she was the one who brokered the deal. She's the one who gave them the money. She admits to the gifts and the things that she got from the Adelson family and the time that went on after. But what about Donna Adelson? That's the reason we're here inside of this courtroom. And Donna's attorney had that question for her on cross.
Besides the one time you had that dental appointment and you saw Mrs. Adelson, you met her, Donna Adelson.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, you never talked to her again, did you?
Not that I can recall. I don't think I've...
You didn't speak on the phone to each other?
No, ma'am.
You didn't text each other?
No, ma'am.
You didn't email each other?
No, ma'am.
You didn't have any other communication of any kind?
No, ma'am.
You didn't meet with her in person?
There's only a time that I saw her, but I didn't meet with her.
Right, exactly. And when you're having these discussions with Charlie Adelson, I'm talking about you and your knowledge. When you're having these discussions with Charlie and then having discussions with Sigfredo, she's not involved in those conversations with you, is she?
No, ma'am, she's not.
Now, Katie McBanowa did say that she received checks that were signed by Donna through the business, the Adelson Institute. And she said when Charlie would talk with her in person about situations related to this plot, that he would then leave the room to talk to his mother and get a weird look on his face, suggesting that Donna was somewhere in the mix. There is something else that she mentioned today that cleared up some information we've been talking about through the week. We've had some witnesses come on the stand and talk about Wendy and her knowledge of Dan Markel's travel plans. Luis Rivera, one of the hitmen, he actually testified that Wendy was the one who gave Katie the information so that they would know when to carry out this hit. Catherine McBanowa had this to say on the stand today.
Did you ever discuss the murder with Wendy Adelson?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever discuss Dan Markel's schedule with her?
No, ma'am.
So the only person you talked about it with at all was Charlie and Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Vinnie, it's been 11 years. Sometimes there are things that may evolve. We're seeing that now that we're on the 4th trial. But it's not something that the prosecution has spent a lot of time on in terms of Wendy and if Luis Rivera was now pointing the finger at her. But Catherine McBanoa, they're saying that that simply wasn't the case.
Okay, so Katie McBanoa slept with Charlie, one of his exes, but there were more exes on the stand today. What can you tell us about the ex-lovers of the Adelsons who were testifying?
Oh, yeah, we had 3 exes on the stand today. One of those was Jeffrey Lacasse. He is an important player in all of this because he could tell the jury about what it was like being the boyfriend at the time of Wendy Adelson, what she was dealing with her mother, how desperately she wanted to get to South Florida and not be in Tallahassee. But he also told this jury that back in Halloween, so this happened in January of 2014, the killing of Dan Markel, Halloween that previous year, he said that Wendy revealed to him that she knew that her brother was trying to find a hitman to kill Dan Markel. Now, there wasn't a lot of time spent on that in front of this jury, and the defense didn't question it the way that they did in the last trial in terms of why he didn't tell police that initially or go to police, but that was a big moment. And here's another one. It's something new that we hadn't heard previously that Jeffrey Lacasse said that Wendy approached him about. He was talking to her about her children, and she out of the blue asked him this question.
Wendy was looking to get her older son tested to see if he was gifted to get him placed in school. This is spring 2014. And I was trying to put her in touch with some people that could do that. And we were talking about that, and she asked me when children develop autobiographical memory.
Is your training or profession such that you have some knowledge that you could offer on that topic?
Your Honor, does not be disclosed as an expert.
And members of the jury.
Okay, the defense put a stop to that because it had not been released before. They didn't have it in discovery, and the judge acknowledged that it's a discovery violation. So we couldn't talk about that, but that could suggest that Wendy knew that her children may experience the loss of their father. It's a leap, but that she wanted to think that at 3 and 4, they may not have any memory of him moving forward. But there was another ex on the stand. This is June Umunchenda. She testified the last trial. She's actually testified now this 4th trial inside of the courtroom. And she had this to say about her relationship with Charlie Adelson. She was with him years after Dan Markel was killed, but before anyone had been charged. Here's a listen to what it was like being with Charlie when he discovered that more people knew information about what happened.
Did Charlie Adelson make a statement to you about Catherine McBanoa's breast augmentation?
After the 2020 episode, he made a statement and joked about it, yes.
What did he say?
He was saying they were thinking that he paid for the whole thing, and then he said, like he said he paid for one or something and laughed.
Only paid for one of the breasts.
Now, Vinnie, Charlie Adelson has some of the worst jokes in this trial. I mean, he's already a convict, but someone should convict him for some of these jokes. But that was the joke that he made to his girlfriend before anyone had charged him with Dan Markel's murder.
Wow. Charlie. Okay. I've got to ask you about testimony regarding a phone call between Harvey Adelson and Sigfredo Garcia, one of the hitmen. What are we talking about here?
Right, well, to set the scene, just to know what it's like inside of this courtroom, day in and day out, Harvey Adelson is there in the gallery. He's often the only person on the seat behind Donna Adelson. He's just there watching her every move. He's the last person to leave the courtroom. He waits till everyone else clears the gallery. Sometimes there are members of the legal team's family that are sitting next to him, but ultimately he's the only supporter there. So whenever something is mentioned about Harvey inside this courtroom, everyone glances over to see if he's got any reaction. This happened at the very end of the day today. Take a listen.
We did find a common number, this 7. That was a phone number that was present here in Tallahassee around the Premier Health and Fitness that was also in the call detail records for one of the subjects of the investigation.
And was that subject Harvey Adelson?
It was, yes. But this is just one incoming phone call from that 786 number. And again, that was on July 1st of 2014 at 5:20 p.m.
Who did the 786 number belong to?
So the 786 number belonged to Sigfredo Garcia.
So, Vinnie, we've been talking about whether there's any evidence as it relates to Wendy in this case that will be revealed, but this is something having to do with Harvey, perhaps. We don't know for sure who was using his phone. Could it have been his wife? Could it have been his son? But July 1st of 2014 would have been 17 days before this murder. There's a look at Wendy Adelson when she left the stand yesterday. She didn't really acknowledge her mother, but she did salute her father there. She was leaving. That's what's happening inside of this courtroom, and we are going to hear more about those call records when we come back tomorrow morning.
Oh, those Adelsons. Julie Janae down in Tallahassee. Thanks so much, Julia. All right, let's bring back in our think tank Rick King, Ann Bremner, and Allie Benevent.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
So, Ann Bremner, this, you know, during the trial of Charlie, I heard all this evidence about Donna. Now we're at the trial of Donna, and I'm hearing stuff about Wendy and now Harvey. Like, are they doing enough to get Donna, or could this jury get distracted by the evidence against Wendy?
Oh, exactly. I mean, everyone's thinking Wendy, Wendy, Wendy. And when's she going to go to trial? I mean, you see it in all the comments and everything else in social media. And then you look at Catherine or Katie, and I was thinking of that great line from Witness for the Prosecution. I mean, were you lying then? Are you lying now? Or are you just a habitual, contemptible liar? I mean, I agree with you. I don't like her. So then what do you have against Donna? I mean, she's just sitting there with her earphones on, kind of innocently saying, why am I here? And I don't know if you've heard the podcast about this case. It's called Over My Dead Body, but I recommend it if you want to make sense of this case, if you can.
Yeah, if you can. Allie, do you think it's possible that the jury can think that one Adelson is involved, but not all of them, and maybe they've got the wrong Adelson on trial right now, that it should be Wendy, the mother of the children, not Grandma?
I do think that's certainly possible. Listen, we talked the other night about what is the defense's strategy here, and a few people mentioned it may be that Donna can just sit there and look like a sweet old lady while everything else burns around her and everybody is pointing fingers at everyone. We really haven't heard any evidence pointing specifically to Donna as much as we've heard about other people. And I echo the comment of my colleague that the general sentiment in the public space on social media and elsewhere is, when is something going to happen to Wendy?
Yeah. Rick, you know, they convicted Charlie. We heard a lot of evidence about Donna, and now it's Donna's trial, and there's so much Wendy stuff. And then how about this bombshell that before the murders, there's a contact between Harvey's phone and the hitman?
Yeah, I think this case is kind of all over the place. But as I was listening to Julie talk earlier and you talk, and actually both my colleagues, I was struck with this. We're talking, I've heard Siegfried, I've heard Luis, I've heard Harvey, I've heard Wendy, I've heard Catherine. The only person's name who none of those people are talking about is Donna. And I think that is the strategy. I think Allie called it perfectly. Sit there with the headphones on and don't say a word and watch this thing burn down, because there's nothing, no one's talking about her. In the defense's opening, they said, they challenged the jury. Hey, listen for the evidence that ties this to Donna. Let me know when you find it. Let me know when they talk about it. And right now, they're not doing it.
Wow. Okay. Think Tank staying with us. When we come back, another big story tonight. The search for baby Emmanuel continues, but today his parents make their first appearance in court. Matt Johnson is live in California tonight. That's next.
This is the Court TV podcast.
Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. What's happening? Oh, boy, wants his job back. That's former Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, the controversial lead detective from Karen Reed's trial, in front of a civil service board today trying to get his job back. Take a look at this video from NBC 10 in Boston. By the way, some of the evidence being used against him were apparently some clips from the coverage of the trial. Unbelievable development there. We'll see what happens. They're going to continue the hearing in October. Right now, I need you to take a look at your television screens. We have a missing child who needs your help. This is Ivan Giovanni Argueta Giudice from Phoenix, Arizona, 16 years old. If you see Ivan, pick up the phone, make a call, make a difference. 1-800-THE-LOST, 911, or you can call the Phoenix Police Department in Arizona. Numbers up on the screen for you right now. Let's see if we can get Ivan to a safe place tonight. Don't go anywhere. We have another hour of live true crime. Vinnie Politan Investigates is next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids.
There you have it. If you want to see more in-depth reporting on the latest true crime stories, you can see me every weeknight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Closing Arguments. Thank you so much for downloading. And as always, please don't forget to hug the kids.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.